You can see, am I progressing? A big mistake a lot of people make is they wait till the end to celebrate. And sometimes you lose interest.
Sure.
And it's sometimes, like that case, it's a long ways down the road. Why can't I celebrate and feel good along the way? And then another thing is take pride in your success. This is another thing that I feel good about. Is some people call me egotistical.
I'm sorry about that.
No, but it's one of those things. If you accomplish your goals, you really got to feel good about yourself. And when you feel good about yourself, it'll help you, or it spurs you on to make more commitments. And I really like to try to think this as a life skill. These points I just shared with you right here are all life skills that you can apply to anything you're doing, whether it be raising kids, making New Year's resolutions, quit smoking, lose weight, be better fit in your life, be a better husband, wife, whatever the case may be. These are life skills that you can use, and you can overlay these in a lot of things that you're doing in your life. And once you feel better about yourself, that's where the pride. Once you feel better about yourself,
right,
it translates into a lot of things you're doing in your life.
So I actually got a text question. That's what that buzz was. So somebody
getting questions.
Buddy.
So somebody asked, what do you do if you have a setback? Like, what should your mindset be? How do you regroup? How do you do things like that? And I'm going to lead that, or I'm going to finish that off with kind of an example that I have. Once upon a time, I was dieting to drop some body fat and things like that. And I was working a job where I kind of moved around from first to second and third shift because I was a lecturer also, and I had to go in one late night. And I'd been doing really good for maybe 10 days, and I had lectured on a third shift. For part of a third shift. And so I spent from about 11 to around 3 a.m. there. On the way home, I was hungry. I knew I needed to eat something. I stopped in at the old Mickey D's. Confident, full of life, ready to go, smile on my face, ordered my food, got home, finished eating it, and by the time I finished eating it, I was like, "You dirty rat, what are you doing to yourself? You are a pile of this and a crock of that, and why'd you even do that? You might as well not even do it anymore. You might as well go grab the milk and the cookies too." I was really bummed out about myself, and I don't know that I wasn't interested. I think I was committed, but I think I had a moment of weakness. And I think the rage that came afterwards kind of proves that I was really disappointed in myself. And I think a lot of people might do that to the point where they actually do say, well, then you know what, I'm not even going to do it anymore. Or maybe even go off on a 3-day bender of Swiss cakes and cherry pies. I don't know, but that would be me if I was describing myself. That's my bender. So to go back, what do you do? How do you regroup? What should your mindset be when you want to when you go off track and need to get back on?
And a lot of it will depend upon how severe what's causing. Like if one of the things was you wanted to be physically fit and you've had a major medical problem that's going to set you back and you're not going to hit your goal, that doesn't mean that you can't feel good about where you've come. You hit the roadblock. Take care of we've got a couple of guys here at the gym right now that's had some major health issues, but their game plan is once that issue is under control, they've maybe not going to be able to meet whatever the goal is they set for themselves for this short term. But this gig's a long run, let me tell you. And believe me, I'm coming up to 69 years old here in a couple of weeks. And the older I get, the more I know this ride's a neat ride, and I don't want to give it up.
Sure.
And so you got a long ways to go. So if you got a setback, for example, a major medical thing that's going to keep you from meeting your goal, then just extend it out. You still have come a ways, I would hope. Hope you didn't get knocked down.
Day number two.
Day number two. But you've come a long way, so you know what it's going to take. And even if let's say if it was a weight loss and you gained weight while you were in this rehab session, there's nothing saying you can't step back up and reset and go. You know how many times I tried to quit smoking? There's a great example. And the joke is you learn a lot each time. You learn a lot each time you do. One day you're going to be successful. And thank God in 1992, matter of fact, it was January 15th, 1992, I could tell you the time and the place that I threw away the pack of cigarettes. That shows you how...
It meant a lot.
Yeah, it meant a lot for me on that day because that was the day I felt like I was reborn.
Sure.
But I was able to succeed. So even you got set back. Let's take your example where you could have easily said, chuck it in. But sometimes do we not learn the most when we are faced with adversity? When we fail on something, don't we sometimes learn more than if we were successful all the way through?
Yeah.
And so it's from that learning that you can readjust yourself. And if it was like a short-term setback, you pigged out and you put on 2 or 3 pounds. Just reset the dial. It may mean you'll have to eat a little less calories for a couple of weeks till you get yourself back on your goal setting or your visual management cube where you kind of measured out your goals and milestones. So there's ways you can do it. But the main thing is don't let your mental outlook leave you just because you've had a setback.
And that's probably the biggest thing that would hurt somebody's progress is their whole outlook on things. Now, when it comes time to, let's say tomorrow is, I start my diet Monday type. Okay.
Start it today.
Start it today, right? That's a good advice. I will take that advice.
I'm serious. Start it today. Why wait?
Why wait? Yeah. When you are ramping up for a major goal like that, are there any steps somebody needs to take to prepare themselves going into it?
Whether, for example, my wife was very successful in her. She's the one that got me inspired. I mean, her weight loss. She lost 52 pounds in a year, and she did it by. And that's where I'm going to answer your question. She did it by getting help. Now, whether it be a personal trainer, in her case, she went and got an app on her phone that allowed her to, first of all, we went out to weight loss calculators and find out if we want to be where we're at and when we want to get there and what it wanted to be, we were able to establish what our calorie intake each and every day needed to be. And so we went and got some assistance there. And then she also went into having an app that would tell her every food category, even Mickey D's calorie counts and everything. So she measured every day, and that's what she taught me to do. And so we would measure, and we go out every day. When I leave here, I'm going to a sports bar and having. Matter of fact, sports bars are wonderful places to go eat because
I love it.
They're fresh cooked food, and you don't have to eat it all. We take it home and eat it at home after we're done. We take half of it home.
See, Mitch is successful with his weight loss, and he probably knows every restaurant and sports bar between Los Angeles and Boston.
Yeah.
He really does.
That's awesome.
I mean, you can still have...
You don't have to.
You can still have a life.
Yeah, you don't have to starve yourself, but you do need to understand that if, like in my case, I could eat 2,250 calories a day. So I had to do that each and every day. That's a lot of calories when you start looking at what I was doing.
Sure.
I went and ordered a half-pound hamburger, but I wouldn't put the bun on it.
Right.
And if I wanted to, I'd eat half of it if I knew I wanted to, because it was 700 calories. Well, I could still do all of that, get all the good stuff, and not be eating rice cakes and that
carrying
kind
around
of stuff.
a gallon of water and rice cakes.
So bring it all the way around to the question you asked is sometimes you have to go out and get some individual help to make these kind of things happen for you. And there's a lot of stuff out there. So that's one of the things as you start ramping up, whatever your goal is, look and see what's out there.
Yeah.
Look and see what kind of professionals you might be able to find to provide you some help.
Right.
Because you're not the first one to do whatever it is. Quit smoking,
Sure.
become more physically fit, lose weight, learn to run a marathon.
Yeah.
Mitch has done that too.
I've done that too.
I was just getting ready to get into that. So in other words, have a game plan, or at least start one so that you can maybe start fleshing it out, and then as you get into it, you can start adding more things to it. And then a wonderful place like Pinnacle 24-Hour Fitness here has resources to help you out, such as trainers and classes and things like that. So I thought that was a good ad drop time.
You need to get the sports bar you're going to in there as well.
Going to Bullfrog.
But maybe we can get a couple of ads going here. So that leads me to my next question. Kind of, if you wouldn't mind, take us, through your evolution in fitness. Where did you start? Where are you now?
Well, I guess it really started when I was younger because I played what would call Little League football, and that went into high school, and I was very successful there, and I got a scholarship to college.
Cool.
Played in college, and then I started work. But then I went in the military first, and then I went to workaday world. And in the military, they incented you to smoke because you got an extra break if you were a smoker. So I took up the habit just so I could get that extra break. But anyway, I got hooked on it. And so I kind of fell off the wagon, gained weight, lost interest in fitness. And so when I turned 40, it was kind of a awakening for me. I had a little chest pain, and I was overweight. I was about 218, highest I'd ever been in my life. And I said, I want to change my life because I was beginning to see that this is a pretty good gig.
Yeah.
And so I took up running. And first day I could only do about a quarter mile. And in 6 months I ran a half marathon. Wow. So I'd almost been down to about 165 pounds in the process. And so, but that's how it started. And from there I just took up running, and then in 2008 I ran my last marathon, blew out a knee, unfortunately, and so I signed up for the gym and been a regular member here since 2008. You brought up a good point about Pinnacle's 24/7. One of the biggest things that most people, I hear from people, I don't have time.
Right.
Since this is a fitness place we're talking about, I'm going to direct it more towards fitness. They don't have times. The beauty of 24-hour access to a fitness facility is I would come in at 3 in the morning. If I knew I had things, I'd come in and exercise at 3 in the morning, shower, and go to work.
Wow, that's awesome.
So
this is true.
You can find time.
Sure.
And of course, the kid's already out of the house, so I don't have to worry about getting the kid to school. I know those could be holdups, but there's you can always find time and make time, or just go out and walk.
Sure.
Get it done.
Well, that's one of I made the observation yesterday on the way home from work that it was 5:30 and I could still see the sun over the trees, and I'm just thinking to myself, oh, it's coming. Every day it's getting a little longer, and it's going to get warmer and warmer, and it's going to be nice to get outside and get some fun out there. Fitness, and because it can be fun. It really can. Take a basketball down to the kids' elementary school or whatever, and play some basketball in their hoops in the playground. It doesn't have to be work. It can be fun.
And for those of you that find it maybe intimidating to think in their meat markets, to go to a gym, it's not. One of the things that I've learned in life is you've got to have 4 things working in concert with each other. You got to have physical activity every day. You got to be mentally challenged every day. Social involvement every day. We're social animals.
Sure.
You got to have, and then you have to have some spiritual direction. And I don't mean you have to go to church, but you just have to. For example, the sun's coming up, looking forward, seeing what God has provided for us. So when you have those 4 things working in concert with each other, physical, mental, social, spiritual, you got a good life.
I can't disagree.
And so where does a gym fit into that? Can I tell them what I do at the gym every day?
That's why you're here.
Yeah, I'm on the elliptical right now. I can't run anymore, so I do the elliptical.
Reading a Stephen King novel.
Yeah, and so I'm reading on the elliptical.
Oh, nice.
So I'm getting 2 of my 3 done right there.
Yeah.
And then this place, we've got a group at the gym. We call ourselves the Romeos. We're the 9:30 in the morning group now.
Sure.
And they're all retired guys and gals. We call ourselves, even though we call ourselves Romeos, we have some women that fit in that category too.
Sure.
But it's just retired, old. We call them men because it fits the end. exercising often. So that's who we are. We're the Romeos that come